but I'm going to ask a couple of questions. So, Larry, you know, we talk about intent, right? Are you familiar with the Oakwood neighborhood and the intent of Oakwood and what Oakwood was supposed to be and the community in Oakwood?
Yes.
Do you want to share some of that and your understanding of Oakwood?
Well, a lot of these homes in the area were built up prior to the city putting some brakes on development in the area. One of the things, though, that I think is important to understand and really making a decision on this project, these units aren't coming off the market. These units haven't been on the market, to our records, over a decade. So it's
Larry, that's not the question I asked. I asked a specific question about Oakwood and the intent of Oakwood and what that community was supposed to be. It's okay if you don't have the answer. I'm just curious if you have the knowledge.
Multifamily, a lot of duplexes were built in that area, and a lot of them were quite small and didn't fully utilize the land that they had, but the density was a lot less than it is today. I understand.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop you. I'm actually going to give you a small history lesson on Venice. Oakwood was the only intentional community of color on the California coast. It was redlined. When Abbot Kinney that came to build Venice, that was built by the African American community at the turn of the 20th century. It was built by African Americans fleeing the KKK in the South, hoping for something better. It was redlined. That is the community that is Oakwood. Okay, so let's be very clear on what Oakwood is and why there were smaller houses there and multifamily homes there, right? Because that was the only community that African Americans were allowed to live in. It is currently the only African American community on the coastal zone. It was redlined, and then the community was destroyed by the drug wars and gang injunctions. Okay, we're now at a critical point in our history where we should be really mindful of this community, protecting and preserving it, not just its history, but its density. So to me, this project is emblematic of everything that is wrong with development in Venice. All right, so let me start there. Second question, when I was doing the agenda on this, I noticed that the applicant was a LLC. Can you explain that to me?
Just for, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just how my accountant put it up. It has nothing to do with anything more, but I think I have no idea. I'd have to ask my tax attorney. I'm an attorney, but I should say I should know. But I think it's just for estate purposes. But it has nothing to do with it, but what it essentially, those are my 3 kids' names. And if this is not a house that we're building and selling, this is a house that we want to live in.
Okay. Secondly, before I turn this over to my committee to echo some of the other sentiments, a 180 square foot ADU is beyond offensive. To build a 37, almost 3,800 square foot single family residence with an attached 181 square foot ADU, to me indicates if it was a family with young children, it's a nanny, most likely it's going to be Airbnb that ADU, or it's going to be a friggin' wine cellar, or who knows what it's going to be. But what most of us can probably agree on is it's not going to house a couple, a mom and a child. It's not going to do anything to help with housing in Venice. So those are my thoughts on this. I can open it up to my committee for anything else they wish to say or share.